things, so pretty cool. Choppiness is actually the sharpness of the waves, so as it peaks, does it get sharper or does it not? So if I set it to 0, right there, it's flat and smooth. And then if I set it to 4, you can see it's a lot more choppy. It's a lot more shapely, I suppose. So I like to set it to anywhere between 2 and 3, sometimes 4, sometimes 5 if it existed. I mean, I'm sure you could probably tell. Let's see if it's 5. It works. 5 works. Let's see 10. Yeah, that's horrible. That's just terrible. Let's change it to 3. 3 is a really good number. 4 is actually amazing, but I'm going to set it to 3 because I like average tutorials. Scale is literally the size of the waves, as you can see. Bigger, 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 bigger. Oh, God. Looks like marshmallows or something in a microwave. Beautiful and tasty. The scale I set anywhere between 1 and 1.5. 1.3 is what I'm going to leave it at because that's what I left off on. Resolution, yet again, the settings that I use on that is for demoing, meaning working in Blender with it. 15 for rendering. I do anywhere between 20 and 30. The most I've ever done really and truly is 25. But I'm sure you can go beyond that with better machines. So that gives you a good idea of all the settings besides time and alignment, and of course bake, if you're unfamiliar with that. So let's start with time. On our timeline here, we're set to 0, and as you can see, if we move across it, nothing happens. The reason why is because we haven't animated our scene yet, and how you do that is by setting the time. So time is set to 1 second. Let's keyframe that by putting our cursor over it and pressing I on the keyboard, and that keyframes it to time 1. But how do we know, more importantly, how long our animation will be? Because obviously we need to keyframe it at 250. So let's go ahead and select 250 because we'll need to have it there later. Go to the Render tab over here, and you'll notice that we have a start frame of 1, an end frame of 250, and a frame rate of 24 frames per second. So how do you find out how many frames equals how many seconds? You take 24 frames per second, divide it into 250, you get about 10.4, and that's how many seconds you have. So 10.4 seconds. So let's go back to the modifiers tab, change the time from 1 to 10. Zoom out. Oops, wrong zoom out here. Zoom out right there. We're already set to 250 down here, so all we have to do is put our cursor over time, press I. It turns yellow, which means it's keyframed, and as we scroll across the timeline, you'll notice that the ocean is a motion. Pretty cool stuff. Now, what does alignment do? Alignment has everything to do with the animation. So the higher you set alignment, the more aligned the waves are. So if you set it to 10, which is the scrolling maximum, I'm sure you can type in a higher number if you wanted to. But basically you create a shore scene where all the waves are rolling into the shore. Really awesome. Of course, the lower you set that setting, the more random the waves are. So if you have a deep ocean scene, you want it set to closer to 0, where the waves are really random.